Hello? Hello? Test, test. Hello? Test, test.
Good evening, folks. We've got a weird matchup for you guys this evening. We have an off-race matchup, at least for this game. It's gonna be the pink Protoss Timbo Slice up against the red Terran Kevin Lee. These guys going to be playing some off-race matchups just to give us some variety on this channel. We've got a little bit too much ZVT, so we are venturing into the unknown. These guys not really too knowledgeable in the current races they are playing, so this should be fun. Now, of course, they have tried this before, and it has been quite silly. I would expect more silliness this time around, as both players, curiously enough, opening up on the low ground. Looks like Timbo wants to drop a quick Nexus. Kevin gonna be finishing up his wall first, it looks like. And if Kevin goes for a Reaper first, Timbo's Stalker is going to be quite delayed. Cybercore only just now starting up. So Reaper going to have potential to get a lot of damage done. Let's see if Kevin is going to be able to micro that Reaper. Timbo is kind of good at getting those worker surrounds. So we'll see if he's able to do that. Reaper gonna be finishing up in about 3, 2, 1 now. And oh no, wasting precious seconds. You gotta go. So wasting a few seconds there. And Timbo still not starting that Stalker. So this could potentially be game ending for him. No, that might be a slight exaggeration, but I do think this Reaper is going to get a good, like, 5 or 6 kills. Let's see. First probe going down. And good micro out of Kevin so far. Timbo still managing to keep his probes relatively okay, but keep in mind this is a lot of lost mining time as well. Second probe going down. Can we get a third? Yep. Can we get a fourth? And oh no, losing that Reaper though. Lots of lost mining time though. I think that was worth it. Kevin, of course, spending a lot of his concentration on that micro. Going to be floating quite a bit of money. He does drop down that command center. He is getting another barracks. And Timbo, what is he doing? He's got 3 gateways. Warp gate just finished. So I would like to see him warp in a round of stalkers or something and move across the map. Try to find some counter damage done. Of course, Protoss always has that recall ability, so if it gets too hot, you can always just recall. But Timbo, not really producing anything. He is going for yet another gateway, 4 gateways. No additional tech on the way. Probe moving out onto the map, gonna be sneaky. Kevin does have a siege tank for the defense now. Gonna be sieging up in kind of an awkward position. It doesn't really protect this wall too much. And yeah, he is gonna fix that, kind of. Getting additional barracks as well as a starport. And he is a bit supply blocked. I wouldn't mind seeing a supply drop in cases like this, because you've got a lot of stuff you want to make and you gotta wait for those supply depots. That's not ideal. Timbo dropping a forward pylon as well as gateway so you can get those fast warp-ins, but what's the point if you're not warping in? You've got all these gateways, but you're not using your warp-in. Hello. Also going to be going for a Twilight Council as well as the robotics facility. Probe count pretty good already with the 2 base saturation. He's moving out with those 2 initial stalkers, warping in more stalkers at this forward pylon. But I don't really feel like this is going to be very successful. Kevin already with 3 tanks, and now they are protecting this wall pretty nicely. And Timbo, I noticed this a lot out of Timbo. He kind of just waits for some arbitrary number or supply count or something, and yeah, allowing his opponent to get a lot of stuff and wandering into the tank fire. That's not ideal. You get 2 tech labs, you do deny combat shields, which is nice, but losing a lot of stalkers. Catching that Raven, that is nice. Maybe chip away at this factory and barracks. Kevin should try to lift those up. And Timbo not spending his money as usual. It's not just his Zerg. He does it with Protoss as well. Look at the production tab. He hasn't made any additional workers or army in the past like 2 minutes while he was trying that attack. And still at 51 supply. 1,500 minerals in the bank. What are you doing? Timbo, please. We've got a Robo Bay on the way. Most likely gonna lead to Colossus. We've got Blink on the way, Double Forge, but you gotta get some more army, Timbo, please. Oh my god. 3rd base on the way. That's nice and all, but you're just gonna die to the first push because you don't have enough units. You can only warp in 5 at a time, then you gotta wait for the cooldown. And by the time Kevin shows up, if he so chooses, Timbo's not going to be able to warp in enough. 1,700 minerals now. I don't know what to say. Kevin on his side of things, getting double engineering bay. Going to be getting his upgrades. Going for his 3rd command center as well as 2 additional starports. I don't know what that is for. Tech lab on one, reactor on the other. And here comes an observer gonna take a little peek. Raven gonna pop out and spot that. Kevin also dropping missile turrets, which will help in denying the scout. The double scan going down just to spot everything that Timbo's got, and in fact he's going for disruptors, not the Colossus that I had initially said, but he is getting Colossus now. So one disruptor, not sure why. They are very difficult to use. And still no warp-ins. It's not like Zerg when you can just use all your larvae. So this is gonna potentially come back to bite him. Now Kevin has landed his third, not morphing that into anything just yet, which is kind of a mistake. He is producing SCVs out of it. And he's got a nice chunk of bio over here. I would like to see him kind of move out to secure this third, really. As if an army were to just come in from the north, he would be quite naked. Now we got a 2 Raven harassment coming down. Going to be dropping some missile turrets. And Timbo bringing his stalkers in. Not going to be able to get any of the Ravens, but does clean up the missile turrets with a relatively low probe loss. I don't know if he lost. I think he lost 1 because the Reaper killed 3, right? The Ravens do go back home. This is kind of awkward. Both detectors just detecting each other. No one gonna do anything. Timbo going for a 4th base, and he is spending his money a little bit now. He warped in some zealots, but still, so much money. You gotta make more gateways and use your warp-ins. Kevin also going for a 4th as well. So these guys playing a macro game. Kevin, lots of idle workers. You gotta shift click your SCVs onto the minerals after you build something. I noticed this a lot out of B breed as well. If you're watching, it's a hot tip for you. Select your SCV, press B, build your building, shift back onto the minerals. Another one here. And any more? Yep, one over there. That's a lot of wasted mining time. Neither player really advancing their tech any further at the moment. And Kevin, he does have his 1-1 armory just finished, I think. So now able to get 2-2. Gonna be getting vehicle plating as well. And his 2nd armory almost done, so he should be getting attack for, I don't know, tanks or ships? I mean vehicles or ships? Answer's gonna be neither. Not using that 2nd armory just yet. Another idle SCV, and oh, another Raven harassment. This one doing a lot better. 10 probes going down, and maybe a blink to get the Ravens? No? No? Okay. Just gonna allow the Ravens to do more damage at the 3rd, and they do get another 7, 8, 9, 10, putting him up to 20 workers killed in this harassment. That is pretty huge. Both Ravens get away as well. That is very nice damage. That knocks Timbo back down to 44 workers. Both players with an absolutely massive bank. Would like to see them spend that a little bit more. You have the production facilities, but nothing being produced. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Timbo has secured his 4th, dropped a nice little wall of gateways, and that of course is going to help with the production as well. Kevin looks like he wants to move out Observer is privy to this. And Kevin just gonna squeeze through this pylon and gateway. And one Marauder decides to attack. The rest are like, nah, that's fine, you can keep that. And Timbo gonna be moving out as well. Maybe he wants to catch this army. He sees everything, by the way. He sees that there are no tanks. So maybe he wants to capitalize on this. He does have 4 Colossus. That's a lot of splash damage. And Kevin has none with this army. His tanks are all hanging back at home. And Timbo, a little too slow to catch that army out in the open. Gonna move his disruptors forward to, oh, not really get a whole lot and lose all the disruptors. That was very anticlimactic. And now in comes the main Protoss army. But what is happening here? Why are the Zealots and Colossus going back there? Stalkers kind of half fighting the planetary, half fighting the army. That was a very awful, terrible engagement out of Timbo, the Protoss player. Now he's going to lose almost everything. Colossus are going to fall to the Vikings, and Kevin should absolutely chase, but he decides to not do that. And Timbo losing his entire army, he doesn't care. No warpins, not spending his money at all. What is happening? 4 Stalkers he decides on. You have so many gateways, and you just go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Stalkers? I don't understand. Like, let's see, 12 gateways. You just lost your entire army. You press the gateway button, and then you just go 1, 2, 3, 4 Stalkers, and 1 back there, and that's it? I don't understand this. It does use up the additional 8 or whatever that was for some more Stalkers, but look at the supply count. 171 to 116. So much money in the bank, but not being utilized. Timbo getting some more disruptors. 2 showing up, and now Robo facilities being unused. Kevin kind of just flexing right now, going for ghosts and nukes as well. He is firmly in the lead with his 4 bases, 5th on the way as well. 4k minerals in the bank, 1.5 gas. And Timbo with a not very scary looking army, just primarily gateway units. 2 disruptors could be huge, but notoriously difficult to use units. Got some more Colossus on the way. And Kevin going for a ghost drop, it looks like. Now Timbo, huge attack onto this 3rd. Kind of focusing on the SCVs. So Kevin with a huge stim. Oh, Timbo did get the planetary. And ooh, nice disruptor shots there. Sorry, that wasn't a planetary. That was an orbital, wasn't it? 12 SCVs going down. Nice little disruptor shot there. Gonna deny this 5th as well. Gonna kill it, in fact. And Kevin gonna go for a nuke here, and it is gonna land, it looks like. Oh no, actually just barely getting that ghost in time. So pretty clutch cleanup there. And Kevin, oh, giving away his hand here, allowing his ghost to fire. And that means Timbo is going to be able to warp in Stalkers to take out the medevac, but no detection, so hold on, gonna get... Oh! Gonna get 6 probes and maybe a Stalker or 2, not really sure, but could have been worse, could have been better. And Timbo with no detection. This is so embarrassing. Oh, Observer does show up. Awkward little blink there. What? He doesn't know where it's coming from. He is gonna move in the right direction now, and finally does take that ghost down. And supplies kind of equalizing. Kevin with the bigger bank, but hasn't reclaimed this base. He is actually going for these two corner bases here. Timbo with the superior upgrades. He's got 3-3-2. However, Kevin going to be equalizing that shortly with his 3-3. He also has 1-1 on his ships. And Kevin going for a lot of Vikings for some reason. Not sure what he saw that prompted this. Disruptor's gonna be a little too far away, accomplishing 0 there. And yeah, those Vikings are gonna be great against these two Colossus, but that's it. Timbo's not going for Sky Toss, so Vikings gonna be useless after that. I mean, they could land, but they're not that great against the Protoss ground army, and down go those Colossus. Half of the Vikings land. That's a very awkward engagement, and that means Timbo should be able to win this fight. Big blink onto the remainder of the Vikings, going to be cleaning that up as well. Neither player really remaxing. And Timbo, you lost 90 supply there and nothing in the production tab. Now 12 Stalkers finally going down. You need more gateways, you need more robos, you need to do more, Timbo. But does take out that planetary that was a little weak from earlier. No repair out of Kevin. And I can't believe what we're seeing. Is Timbo actually going to pull this back? He was pretty dead. And Kevin still with a pretty nice bank, but just not spending his money. Maybe not enough production. Timbo going to be taking out these two corner bases as well. How did things go so wrong for Kevin? He does lift off that orbital. Gonna get that away at least. But these workers here, they have nowhere to go. Timbo now not gonna pursue those workers. Gonna try to go for the throat, but there are tanks here on the defense. That's probably gonna be enough to deter Timbo for now. And this is kind of awkward. Orbital maybe thought of landing here, but Timbo already with that base. And Kevin abandoning the ghosts entirely. Only went for the initial 4, was it? Ravens trying to poke and do more damage, not as successful this time around. And now things are looking quite good for Timbo Slice. He's got 170 supply. He's got bases 5 and 6 on the way. And he just needs to find a way to close this out. Gonna take out that remaining refinery there. Sends out a couple Disruptor Novas. Only getting like 2 or so Marines there. Kevin lifting up. Thought he was gonna go for a drop, but no. Just gonna drop them back down. And that could be a cool move actually if he just went for a big Doom drop, load everything into medevacs and just send it, because this army from Timbo gonna be a little too scary to deal with, at least without tanks, and it is very difficult to move out with tanks. On the defense, he should be okay. I wouldn't mind seeing 2 or 3 of these tanks kind of move up here to defend this base. And these units not in a really great spot to defend this base, which is where Timbo looks like he wants to attack. Is likely going to pick this off once again. Should right click on the base and oh, huge Novas, and completely blundering that. Sends those Novas past into no man's land. Is it gonna matter? I think not. Timbo just has a little too much. Kevin not utilizing his tanks. Gonna have to GG out, and Timbo gonna take game number 1. Welcome back! This is game number 2 in this series, this off-race Clown Fiesta. And we are changing things up just a little bit. This time it's going to be the blue Terran Timbo Slice. Going up against the red Protoss, Kevin Lee. So it was flipped last game, and Timbo was able to get the victory with the Protoss pieces. Let's see if Kevin can equalize the score line with the same pieces. Is Kevin gonna be going for an in-base pylon in the gateway? Timbo gonna be dropping it on the low ground. Refinery as well, pretty standard stuff. Let's see if he goes for a Reaper. And be curious to see what these guys are gonna go for. I do suspect Kevin to go for Sky Toss. He does typically like his air units. Kind of surprising that he didn't go for Banshees or BCs last game. But he did go for some cheeky Raven play, which was pretty successful. And getting that second gas as well. No plans for expanding, I don't think. Timbo going to be getting that Reaper, as mentioned. Rallying that to the main base. That's kind of awkward. Second barracks as well, also producing a Reaper. But not sure why these barracks are rallying to the main. Maybe he wants to save up 2 to 4 Reapers and going all at once. But that's going to give Kevin time to get his Stalkers up. And now the Cyber Core is done for Kevin. But, oh, there we go. There is the Stalker. So he should be okay for now. Second base coming down as well. Going to be earlier than Timbo's, curiously enough. Timbo with the low ground wall. I would have expected him to get that expansion sooner. And Timbo is waiting for 4 Reapers, I assume? No, he's got another 2 queued up, it looks like. He's going to move out with 3, but 2 more Reapers on the way. A third barracks on the way as well. And Stalker gonna move out, and this is gonna give Kevin a little bit of heads up. Not too much he can do back at home, but this is awkward. Now the Stalker has a long way to go to get home. 3 Reapers can do a good amount of damage. Let's see, how is the micro from both players? The little grenade charge, not doing a whole lot, but 6 probes going down so far. 1 additional reinforcing Reaper does get pushed away, but the Stalker in the wrong spot. These Reapers gonna get more damage. 8 probes so far. Now 2 Stalkers are here to defend, so that should be putting an end to this relatively soon. Kevin does start up the Void Ray off of that Stargate. And Timbo going to be producing Marines to respond, I guess. But going to need more than that. I would like to see an engineering bay, throw up some missile turrets, get another 1 or 2 barracks, just pump out Marines. Don't forget the upgrades from the tech lab as well. 3 Marines, that's not going to be enough. And this is gonna be a little dicey. I mean, you saw that Stargate. Why is there no reaction? Hello? Timbo misplaying this at the moment. Is gonna see the Void Ray move out now. And still not producing Marines. Alright, there we go. 3 in production. But is it too little, too late? This Void Ray could potentially do a lot of damage, and it does show up now. And where is the anti-air from Timbo? Big counterattack with the Reaper is gonna get 6 probes. That's nice. And yeah, Marines 2 not gonna be enough. 4 maybe. And Reaper's gonna hop into the main. They're gonna be met by the Stalkers, so probably gonna not be able to find too much additional damage. But as I say that, look at this, no reaction from the Stalkers, so the Reaper's gonna get another 6, putting that up to 12, and they are gonna go down. But likewise, this Void Ray with 11 kills of its own, gonna get another one, and Timbo just gonna GG. What? 1,400 minerals in the bank. Oh my goodness. So Kevin does tie things up 1-1. Welcome back. This is the third and potentially final game in this series. We've had our off-race Clown Fiesta, and both games the Protoss player won. So we've confirmed that Protoss OP. This game, game number 3, we're going to be going to the main races of both players. It is a ZVZ. So Zergfest, always a very volatile matchup. Now Kevin is the higher ranked player, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot in ZVZ. Kind of a knife fight, kind of a very scrappy matchup. So it could be anyone's game. Now Timbo going for the pool first, maybe just kind of a safety move. Kevin going to be going for the hatchery first. So Kevin going to have the early game lead. And this is a big map, so rushes not going to be very good most of the time. Maybe Kevin playing to that characteristic of the map. Going for the hatch first. Now Timbo perhaps playing to his opponent's reputation. Kevin tends to be a rushy boy, but no rush this game. And Timbo does have his pool done. He is gonna have an earlier queen, but other than that, not too much going on. Timbo is throwing down his base as well. It's going to be just a little bit later than Kevin's. And Kevin's going to have the earlier speed, which he does start up right now, and he is continuing to mine gas as he usually does. So I would expect maybe a baneling nest and maybe some baneling skirmishes. And Timbo does start his speed as well. Only, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds slower, and Timbo does pull out of gas, and pulling out completely is a little scary if you ask me. I think you do ideally want to be able to drop the baneling nest on a dime if you need to. 2 Zerglings, it looks like they wanted to go for a scout, but just taking a breather over here by this pillar for some reason. Kevin gonna venture out with his queen to push back that overlord. Now, he does like to do this from time to time to push away that vision and then floodlings. Doesn't look like he is doing that this game. as those two Zerglings from Timbo are going to run in to get a scout, and they are going to be able to see this Baneling nest. Speed for Kevin going to finish, so these two Zerglings of Timbo going to die. Kevin with a lot of money does wait for the scouting Zerglings to back away before he starts that lair. Canceled the Baneling nest only to restart it. That's odd. And Timbo, not sure what he's spotted to prompt this reaction, but going for a full wall on the front. Going to be denying this vision as well. But yeah, I don't know what he saw that really prompted that. There was no Ling Flood or anything. I guess better safe than sorry. And two scouting lings of Kevin gonna confirm that wall, so probably not gonna be seeing any aggressive move outs for either player anytime soon. Kevin does have his layer completed. Timbo, none in sight just yet. Both players are going for the Roach Warren. Both players going for the 1-1 missile and carapace. Kevin gonna be going for a Hydralisk den as well. Now Hydras, they can be okay in a Roach Hydra composition. Kind of sprinkle in a few Hydras, let them do damage from the back. But this early, I don't really like it. I kind of prefer going into Roach Ravager first, and then maybe getting some Hydras a little later on. This is quite a heavy investment. Now you gotta get both Roach speed and Hydra range. So it is gonna be a bit of an investment. He doesn't go for those Hydra upgrades just yet, and that's fine. 7 Roaches on the way for Kevin, who is getting his third base. No third in sight for Timbo, who is only just now almost finishing up his lair. We do have a macro hatch for Timbo, and I feel like that would have been better as a third. So Kevin gonna also have a macro hatch, or rather 3 base production, and he can drone that up whenever he so pleases. 2 Queens of Kevin spreading creep, denying overlords. They did get 1 over there, I think. Yeah, 1 overlord. And so 2 Zerglings, 1 overlord, 1 creep tumor of Timbo have gone down. Only, what is this from? Not sure where these lost resources came from, but Kevin not losing a unit so far in this game. Oh, it must have been the cancel on the Baneling nest. And Queen's gonna deny another overlord, it looks like. Same over here on Timbo's side of things. Looks like Kevin tried to morph that into an overseer to save it, but it did go down. And oh, nice nice catch there onto that changeling. But Kevin has scouted the army composition of his opponent, and Timbo saying Jesus. What? What did he see that prompted that response? I don't know, but Timbo moving out now with the nice Roach Ravager army. And what does Kevin have? He just has Roach Hydra, which could be fine. And yeah, that's a little too many Hydras, I feel like. If I were Timbo, I would be happy to just engage this. Little mispositioning there with the Ravager. One was a little too far forward. And now he's morphing Ravagers out in the middle of nowhere. Kevin gonna jump on this, get 2 of them. But not able to get the rest. And Timbo chasing right now. And on the retreat, Hydra's gonna be in the front. So Timbo with a huge catch here, catching some rallying Roaches as well. This is a huge window of opportunity for Timbo, who is going for the third? He'll take out the army. Yes, and he does set his sights back onto the army, missing the biles, but that's fine. Forcing your opponent to reposition is good use of those as well. And not the best micro out of Timbo, who is retreating at this point. Kevin with the 2-2 upgrades to Timbo's 1-1. So, despite his army-sized lead, Timbo is forced to retreat, and I feel like he could have stuck around, but very hard to make that decision in the heat of things. Now Kevin moving out, kind of just clearing up overlords, it looks like. Timbo is finally throwing down his third. Didn't take out the third of Kevin, but wait. What? What happened? Timbo just GG's? Huh? What was that? What the heck was that? Timbo had the army lead. He was slightly up in workers. Oh my god, Timbo just throwing a game that he was in the lead in.